From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now, here's Hotline editor, John Mercurio.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. We hope your Memorial Day was memorial. House Race Hotline's Tim Sod has joining us now with an advanced look at some key House races. Races that we need to keep an eye on that might not have fully developed today, but that will be competitive, we believe, in 2008. All right, Tim, what races should we have our eyes on?
Well, I think if you're going by what's getting the most press so far, Nancy Boyda in Kansas.
I always go by what's getting the most press.
Well, you got to. It's a good measure. She is clearly, obviously she sits in a Republican district, but she's clearly the most targeted. She's not accepted Democratic frontline funds. It doesn't mean she won't accept any DCCC funds in the future, but she's not accepting any early help. It showed in her fundraising. She had a first quarter that was very lackluster compared to the rest of the vulnerable freshman Democrats. So she's having problems there. She's going for some union votes, and in her district, that might not play so well. So she's very vulnerable by her actions, and she also has former Representative Jim Ryan running against her. Who she beat in 2006. And also the state treasurer, Lynn Jenkins, is running in that primary against Jim Ryan to see who will move on. So there will be a candidate that has name recognition that will be against Nancy Boyda. So Republicans look to that district probably, I'm sure, as one of their biggest pickup opportunities.
Right. Is that one of those classic Kansas Republican primaries where there's a conservative and a moderate that they're trying to...
The Civil War in Kansas that seems to happen in every competitive race continues in this race.
All right, who do you got next?
Florida 13, Vern Buchanan and Christine Jennings, which I think is still going on from 2006.
Good.
Christine Jennings is contesting that. The DCCC is actually paying for her to contest the race, as financial reports showed. But she's obviously not going to be seated, so there's talk that that she's going to run again. She'll be well funded. The question is the public tired of seeing her still contest the race? And Vern Buchanan's turned out to be a sort of moderate candidate and probably a good fit for the district. He voted for a number of the Democrats' 100 hours bills. So he's been probably good fit for the district, and it'll be a tough race for the Democrats to pick up.
Interesting. Catherine Harris not talking about trying to come back and to reclaim her old seat?
Never say never, I don't think, with that possibility.
Just as a peacemaker, a sort of a mediator, of all sides. She could just come in and say...
She'd do a good job at that.
She would be a consensus candidate. All right, who else do we have here?
Missouri 6, the former mayor of Kansas City, has jumped in to challenge Sam Graves.
Interesting.
And that is going to be probably one of the most high-profile races, and certainly one that's come out of the blue since 2006. Sam Graves has won re-election ever since his first tough race against Representative Pat Danner, who retired. Her son ran. This is going to be a tough race for Sam Graves. It's going to be his first tough one since then. And Kay Barnes, Kit Bond, the Republican senator from Missouri, has not endorsed her, but has also been an ally with her. And
they do have the same initials. They have the same initials, so that
I think that's the closeness there is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's going to be a very tough race for Sam Graves.
Interesting. All right. Good. Any others? Anybody else we're watching?
Of course, Heather Wilson, who is
always on the list.
Always on the list, but this time it's sort of her making.
Right.
And Democrats have fielded an Albuquerque city councilor, probably others that will get in the race. So there will be others there. And Republicans point to John Hall and Kirsten Gillibrand in New York. They have good recruits there with lots of money, each one of them. So those will be tough races.
It's funny. Of all the chambers, or all the races we're going to be watching in 2008, the House, the Senate, and the White House, the House, I think, is where Republicans need to be, or should be, focusing most of their attention, because that's where they have, I think, the best chance. The best chance of taking over. If sometime next year the White House just looks like it's gone, and if they just don't look like they're going to be able to pick up enough Senate seats in that race, I think they just throw it all in the House, because that's where they can do it.
But if the environment's that bad, where they're tanking in the White House and tanking in the Senate,
yeah,
probably not good that that's going to. But they have the chances. I mean, there's a number of these freshman Democrats who got elected, and a really good year for them. You know, they could find really good pickup opportunities there in 08.
Interesting. All right. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll
Thank you
see
very
next
much,
time. Thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow on Hotline TV.